This is Harold Sullivan. Welcome to Seekers Season 2. Let me show you guys me. I'm alone. Well, you know what I mean by that. In here. That's me. Okay. Thank you for a couple subscriptions on YouTube. People have added me. Hopefully it's because of the show and people were curious and they want to get answers just like I do. Drop me a line if you have any comments, questions, anything I should try, different techniques maybe, like I said, any kind of new equipment, anything that you want to know about any episodes or about the show, or if you want to become a part of the team in any kind of way, Horror Icon at YouTube or MySpace. That's HORRORICON at MySpace. Mention the show and whatnot. Okay, and I have a couple new inventions, or new, not inventions, but devices, gadgets, whatever you want to call. I got the EMF set up over there, which I used before a little bit, and the K2. And I also have modified a radio box, which you can see that white object over there. And I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm going to do a short session here, and then later I'm going to set the box up and try to get some answers. I got some speakers. I don't know if they're giving off any kind of a field, but I'll check with the EMF. So there's a woofer on the floor, a couple speakers up here. Didn't cost much, but something to plug them in so I can hear them real loud, because it's hard to pick out these words. I thought I got a couple words yesterday, a couple of names. I just tried it for a few minutes without the camera on. And I found to set it to AM was better, because there's not much, a lot of the AM stations aren't used anymore, and it's just static. And some of them, there are some, but you basically got to pick out what's different in between there, and those are the words if you get answers to your questions. So it took me a while to get, and I had to flip back and forth. But the K2 was going as I was I was calling out words I thought I heard, and the K2 was answering, and I got them right. So I got a Bill and a Jack. So maybe there is two males here. And then one was 42. And one, it sounded like two different voices. One was a little bit deeper than the other. But it was my first time, and I only did it for about a half hour to an hour. It seems like it takes a while for it to heat up also. And I'm going to show you guys how to modify, or tell you how to modify a regular radio. It'd be better to do this, to build one, like of your own with speakers and everything included, like a big giant one, like a Frank's box from Paranormal State, the show. He's the guy that first came up with this invention, so I want to give him credit. And basically you're just modifying your radio so that it just constantly scans, creating white noise, and then the words can come in between, so you can get in real time, get the answers instead of listening to them later on for recording. But I'm going to try, and this is what a lot of people do. You can actually hook up a voice recorder at the same time and get everything recorded, and maybe even get more that comes through on the EVP as well. But I think when I hook it up that way, see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the radio itself. I'm going to hook a wire from the radio to the voice recorder, from the headphone jack on the radio to the mic on the voice recorder. Then take the speakers themselves and hook them into the headphone jack on the voice recorder. That will give me the sound coming out of there. The only thing is, it will only record from the radio itself and not me asking questions, which will be good because it won't get any kind of interference. So later on I will play that recording over me asking the questions, so you get me asking the questions and then the radio itself here with the answers. if that's makes sense. So, and then I'll show you how I hook it up and everything. And now let me go closer to the radio. Nothing's on in here with the power on. TV's off. Show you that TV's off. Nothing on in here. Okay. Now let me show you this radio. It was a Radio Shack. The model was like 12169 something. You can go to the store. Let me put it down here on the table and show you guys. Good. I found one right at a Radio Shack near me, so you can probably get them, but they don't have many of them. It's an actual digital AM/FM radio. Okay, Radio Shack. I'm going to cover that up later because I just don't like the way it looks. The Radio Shack word. When I'm going to be using this as a device. Hold on 1 second. Got to tilt the screen a little bit. It's a little bit dark. Okay. So yeah, and then it's just a digital AM/FM radio. It was like $25, and it has a blue LCD screen that will scan up. It has a band button on the very top, which you switch from AM to FM. So what I would do is just have it on AM, because then you're going to get like a clicking sound instead of just going through music real quick, which is all FM. You're going to get a loud clicking sound, and then after that it will start to get clearer, and then the voices will come through. But you have to explain, one at a time and whatnot, because I was getting like you can't understand when there's a million voices at once or a whole bunch, or just, I think it has to be, they have to concentrate real hard. I also found out that I had to actually hold the radio and hold it away, like a couple feet away. I stretched the wire out and hold it away from the speakers. Maybe there's some kind of conduction with the person holding the radio itself, like an antenna picks up better. So, okay. Put this down for a second here. I'm going to keep showing you the radio. And on the side you got the volume and whatnot. See, the hold, which I don't do. I had the volume all the way down on it, and the speaker volume about halfway down, and it's pretty loud still. So, and then I'll show you the top, which has the on and off button. And then there's where you plug the headphones in. There's the on and off button, and then there's the band button. Now, what you do is after you get it modified. Well, let me tell you how to modify it first. There's a buckle clip on the back of here, plastic clip. You can put it on your belt or whatever. Show you guys that. There's a belt clip. Take that off. There's a couple screws there. There's a battery compartment. Take the batteries out. If there isn't any, then you just take the battery off. There's 2 screws under there. There's another screw in the battery thing, I believe. And then underneath it, you got to watch when you're taking it apart. Just take 2 screwdrivers or something, pliers, things, stick them in the sides of this, and pry the cover off. And then watch, because there's 2 wires in there, like an orange and black or something. Don't break the wires. If you do, just solder them back together. Okay, you take it apart. Then there's a couple more screws on the motherboard, like 2 more. You take them off, and you pop the motherboard from the bottom of it off. Okay, and then you take the motherboard out, separate from the compartment. Don't touch the front. Just have the motherboard with the 2 wires attached. It'll be hanging to the radio back. Okay, put the front of the radio down. And then what you do is you're going to count the pins from right to left, 5 pins, and underneath of it they'll say mute. It's like a little silver pin. You just snap the 5th one off with pliers or something. And once you do that, you just put it all back together. And what that's going to do is it's just going to make it constantly scan. Once you turn it on, you have AM, FM. You pick which one you want, which I would pick AM, unless it's a different in your place. Maybe FM might work better. Okay, and what I would do, and then what you do is you hold the up button for 2 seconds, and it will just start constantly scanning up by itself, and it will just go through the channels, and that's what you want. It'll just count up, and it'll be static and whatnot, just real quick through, like, like music.